Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa if you do not know me, and I am the owner of a crochet small business called LuluNicoleandCo, and in today's video we are going to be very Valentine's Day inspired. We are going to make a Valentine's Day cardigan together. So we're going to make a granny stitch hexagon cardigan. You probably saw the pictures of it in the thumbnail, and we're going to start at the very beginning, and this is going to be another one of those full progress videos since you guys really liked the last one. We're going to start from the very beginning. So the very first thing that I did was I bought yarn, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. And then I'm going to walk you through the process throughout a couple days, showing the start of this cardigan all the way up to finishing it off. And I did want to talk a little bit about things with this cardigan. I did have the idea. I've done a couple cardigans that are multicolored. I've done a lot of them actually, and some of them I will change the color every 2 rows, and I feel like that looks really good. It gives a good striping effect. And I have one cardigan where I changed it every single row, and it gave more of like a pop of the colors effect. I don't know really how to explain it. It obviously is a little bit more work changing color every single row, but I haven't fully decided yet how I want to do this cardigan. I know, I'm starting the video and I have no idea what I'm doing yet, but I do know that I've seen cardigans going around this Valentine's Day season with hearts going down, like granny squares, hearts going down the back of the cardigan. And while I do love that design, I think so many people are doing it, and it's just not something that I want to recreate, at least this year. Maybe next year I'll change my mind, but for this year's cardigan, I just want to do kind of like a simple cardigan, but I want to do it with a bunch of color. And then the next thing that I'm going to do from there is take the cardigan, and I do want to add those heart granny squares. I know I said I wasn't going to use them. I'm going to put them as pockets on the front of the cardigan instead, because I've never had a cardigan that I put pockets on before, and so we're going to try something a little bit new with that, and hopefully that turns out pretty cute. But let me go ahead and show you the colors we're going to use. I did ask over on my TikTok, and I think I asked over here as well on YouTube in the short section of the videos what colorways you would rather see. So I had 2 options. I had 4 colors picked out that I really did like and I wanted to use for the cardigan, and then I was debating between like a tannish color or a gray being the 5th color, and you guys did choose between both platforms. You guys kind of chose the gray, and so I went ahead and went with the gray. And so the first color that I got was, let's see here. This is all in Hobby Lobby's, this is upside down, all in Hobby Lobby's. I love this yarn. So the first one is in Gray Mist, and it's just a normal gray. The second one is in, let's see here. This is just one of the normal pink colors. Oh, this one is literally just called pink. So we have this color. Obviously it's for Valentine's Day, so I went very pink. We have soft pink, so very light pink here. And then we have, I went and got 2 of the print line colors for it too, because I wanted some more like pattern in it as well. I just wanted to do something a little bit different from the cardigans I've been doing recently. This one is in the colorway Crushed Raspberry. Again, upside down. It's got gray and pink, like polka dots kind of going through it, kind of like how the tweed yarn is. It's like that. And then I wanted a little pop of color that wasn't pink, and I absolutely love this yarn. I've been eyeing it for so long. I decided to throw a little bit of blue into my Valentine's Day cardigan this year. This one is in the color Be Still, and I absolutely love it. I love all the colors in there, the like dark pieces. I feel like this is going to work up really cute. So I have all 5 colors sitting next to me, and I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and do different colors every single round. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of cutting and weaving and ends, but I think it's going to look really good. So I'm going to go ahead, figure out what order I kind of want these colors to go in based on the amount of yarn that I have of each one, and go from there. And I will probably send you into time-lapse mode seeing me start this cardigan. So before we do that, the last thing I want to say, as this is a full progress video, I always like to talk about the hook sizes that I am using for the cardigans. So the hook size that I use for the granny stitch across the entire cardigan, I use different hook sizes for different things. So I use a 6.5 millimeter for, this probably isn't going to focus, a 6.5 millimeter hook for anywhere where you see the granny stitch. I use a 4 millimeter hook when I am doing the cuffs and just the cuffs. It's the only time the 4 millimeter pops up. And then I use a 5.5, so I size down a whole millimeter from the normal hook when I do my very last row on the border. It's just like a single crochet row. I size down to a 5.5 for that. So that way I don't forget about it throughout the entire video, but this has been a really long-winded intro. I'm going to send you into time-lapse mode, and we're going to get started on our Valentine's Day cardigan for this year. Alright, we have made it to row 5 on the first side, and I did want to talk a little bit between the difference in how I did my cardigan in the last video to how I'm doing it in this one. Is when I work on a cardigan that's all one color, I usually work up the first entire side. And then once the cuff is done and everything on that first side, I'll go work on the second side. For this cardigan, and when I work with multiple colors and I have to continuously weave in ends, I've weaved in like 4 out of the 10 ends we've had so far already, and this thing is so small. I am going to go ahead and weave in these ends in just a minute. The way that I do like to do it when I have multiple colors in one cardigan and I'm changing them consistently is that I do like to work up both sides at the same time. So I have 5 rows done on this one. I'm going to go ahead, weave in the ends on the back of this one. I'm going to go ahead and make a second one of these. Go ahead and start the second side, work it up the same exact way, and then we will work up both sides simultaneously, I think is the word. I work them up at the same time, and that way they're both growing, and we will just see kind of how far we get tonight. As you can see, I got through 5 rows right now, and it's not super far into the night. I am just going to have a really cozy night sitting on the couch. I have a Valentine's Day blanket that I made years ago that I'm sitting underneath that's super soft. Just having a very chill girls' night. We're going to have some girl dinner. We're going to have pasta with no protein in it, and just have a very cozy night working and starting this cardigan. We're obviously not going to finish it tonight, but I do want to see how far we can get. So I have this piece. I'm going to go ahead, I think that's the back, yep, this side. I'm going to go ahead and weave in some ends, recreate this. I'm probably going to make dinner after I have all of that done, and I will catch up with you a little bit later when I have more of this done. Alright, it is a day later, and all I got done last night was I got to row 10 on both of the panels, and I went ahead and folded them up. So here is what the cardigan is kind of looking like right now. Here are both of those hexagon pieces. They're looking absolutely adorable, very Valentine's Day. I love the pop of blue. It's definitely It's not taking away, in my opinion, from all of the pink, which is perfect for the holiday, but it also adds a little pop that isn't in everybody else's Valentine's Day projects this year. And so I love how they're both looking. That is how far I got with the 2 panels last night. I didn't even get to weaving in the ends of the second 5 rows that I did on both panels, so I just weaved those in today, and that's probably all I'm going to do to work on this project today. But I just wanted to come on here and update you a little bit with where we are on the project. I probably won't touch this again for a couple of days. I've got some other things to do, some other projects, some other plans, but I did want to just show you that. So I will be back whenever we come back to this project and continue to work. We'll be adding some more rows, obviously, to these, and I will touch base and see you then. It is a few days later now, and I spent a lot of time yesterday working on these cardigan pieces. I have them stacked here. I got to row 18, I believe, on both sides. Every end so far has been weaved in, and we are cutting and weaving in the ends every single row, so it's been a lot of weaving in ends, and it is looking so good so far. Here are the pieces, what they are looking like. It is looking so good. I'm expecting it to look chaotic, and it doesn't look chaotic, if that makes any sense. Like, it's because all of the colors are very tame, very calm. There are 5 different colors in here, but it only looks like a few, and it almost looks randomized, even though it's very like in a row. Each color goes the same order every single time. Here up close is what it is looking like. All the colors are looking so good. I went ahead, got to row 18, and then stopped for the night last night because it was getting pretty late, and I kind of just continued to work. I did all of this off camera because it was just a lazy day at home, and I was just being really chill, and I didn't really want to film anything. And honestly, it was just working up the same stitch that you guys have seen clips on already for the video. But we got to row 18. Here is that first piece. Here is it unfolded. It is looking pretty big now. And then obviously the second piece looks the exact same. So we've got 2 very, very large pieces so far. They are looking absolutely adorable. Very, very Valentine's Day for sure. But I am, now that I have updated you, we're on row 18, caught up. I am going to continue to work. All of my balls that I've been working out of all have giant holes in them now. And so we have 4 more rows to crochet before we close up the top of the cardigan and start working on extending out the sleeves. We've popped open an Alani. We have the cherry slush one today, and we are going to get started. I've been watching the after movies because they just were put a little bit ago on Netflix, and so we're about to start the 3rd movie out of the 5th, and I'm just gonna keep working, probably throw you into time-lapse mode and get some clips. We have hours worth of work to do today if we want to finish this cardigan today, and it's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I don't know if we're gonna get this all the way done today. I'm going to try. I'm going to keep on filming, keep on updating you with what we're doing, and see how far we get. One more thing before I go, I did want to say that I stopped at this row because we are about to do the very last rows on both of these pieces where I get to use this pretty blue color. It's called Be Still, and then I get to use the last of this soft pink colorway, and so I just wanted to stop and start off today working up the very last of both of those colors because I love those colors and I love working with them, and I'm very sad that we're already pretty much done with them, but that's okay. And I'm going to go ahead, work with those 2 colors, and then the other colors do show up again. The we'll work with the gray one more time, we'll work with this one more time, and then this one more time. But I'll go ahead and start with the blue on these panels, and again, I'll update you when I have an update. I've gotten the first panel through to 21 rows, so we just finished up the gray row, and I just wanted to talk about something that I do as I make these cardigans. So when I get to the 21st row, I do the whole row, and then let me find it. I go all the way to the corner. I want to say it's, yeah, this one is where I am cutting my yarn, weaving in all my ends the whole time. I'll go 2 backwards from that. So the row that I just finished completing, 1 more, and in the corner, I will always put a little stitch marker with row 21. So this stitch marker tells me when I get to this during row 22, when I'm supposed to close up the cardigan and start seaming and crocheting along the top piece. So I'll get to that corner. What I will do is I'll take this last side that you crochet and I'll put it in on itself, fold up the rest, and then that is what will end up being the top of my cardigan, is right here. And so that I just wanted to touch on a little bit. That is how I've done it. That's how I learned from Passionate Kelsey to do it, and I really like it that way. I am not gonna sew if I have the chance, and this pattern involves absolutely no sewing. It's just crocheting all the pieces together, and so I love that. And I've kept with that as I've adapted it over time to make my own pattern. So here is how that is going, but I'm going to continue on crocheting. I still have to do the other rows still on my second piece, so I'm going to go ahead and do that piece first before I come and do the row where I have to sew this up, but I will keep you guys updated for sure. All right, I took a minor break, but I did want to show you where I was at. So I got to the part on both sides of the cardigan. We finished row 21 on both of them. Both of them have their little stitch markers in them, and I am getting ready to, on the one on the bottom first, to put on row number 22 to close up the top, and they are looking so cute. I'm so excited to see these closed up and start seeing that full cardigan come together today. But here with row 21 is what these sides are looking like. They're looking so stinking cute. All the colors are working so incredibly well together, and I'm so happy that they look good. I remember spending so much time working on the color palette for this cardigan and what type of colors would look good with others, what order they should go in, and it was just a whole process. But I'm very glad that it came out looking as cute as it did, and I'm very glad too that the little bit of blue in it just adds a little bit of contrast against all of the pinks and the gray and the white that's in it. So there is what that is looking like, but I'm going to go ahead and close up both of these cardigans, and I will be back when I have another update for you guys. It's almost done. I'm so excited. closed up both pieces, and now I am about to start the cuff on the first side, and then I have one row left of adding to the sleeve on the second piece. I do my decrease round, and then I'll be working on that cuff as well. So I am going to go ahead and work on this, and I'll come back when both cuffs are done for both of the pieces. All right, it is a new day. I wanted to start off by showing you what we finished in the last clip. That was a few days ago. I haven't touched the cardigan in a little bit, but we finished up both sides, or both sleeves on both panels, and we finished off with this bright pink color for both of the, what are these called? For both of the cuffs, there we go. For both of the cuffs here, which are looking so stinking cute. I think this yarn, it for some reason ends up being a little bit thinner than some of the other Hobby Lobby I Love This yarns, and so when that happens and you use that for the cuff, it makes the cuff a little bit smaller. But I've been having a tiny issue with my cuffs lately, where some of them are just so big that I go like this and the cuff like falls down on my arm because I have such tiny wrists. So I kind of like when the yarn ends up skinnier, just because these fit my wrists a lot better than they normally would. Let's unfold and look at both the pieces. So here is what our cardigan is looking like. It is almost done. We only have a couple more things to do to it before it is all the way finished. The first thing that we are going to do today is we are going to start by seaming up the back panel, just adding a row on both sides of this same color that we used for the cuffs, so that dark pink, and then we have to throw a border on it in that same pink color. The very last thing that we get to do today is we get to pick out which colors to use for our pockets, because I talked about at the beginning of this video how I wanted to put heart granny square pockets on the cardigan. So holding this up, I want the pockets to be like down here at the bottom, and I want them to be decently sized, not like super tiny like I've seen some really good granny square patterns. I'll link the one that I used down in the description box below for sure for you guys. But I think I'm gonna add a third row of whatever the background color is on that granny square, just to make it a little bit bigger, and I want it to contrast nicely but work really well with the cardigan. And so I'm not entirely sure what colors we're going to use for those granny squares quite yet, but I'll let you know when we decide. I do have some of all of our colors left so far. I'm going to probably save this pink, do the border and everything first before we work on the granny squares, because I don't think I'm gonna have enough of this pink left over after I do that. I also only have this much left of the Be Still color, so the blue color that we used in the cardigan. That's all I have left. So we definitely can't use this for our pockets, but that's okay. I think I am going to make 2 pockets. I keep saying pockets and not explaining that. I think I'm gonna make 2. I want one for both sides, and I'm gonna make them match. So the heart is gonna be the same yarn, and then the border around it, so that like the actual square of the granny square is gonna be the same as well. And that'll just kind of be based on what colors we have left and how much of each color and that type of thing, because we also have to sew on the pockets. But I'm gonna quit yammering your ear off. I'm gonna talk about my coffee real fast, because we're here for the coffee always, and then we will move on and get to work on this cardigan for the day. But I did make up a latte again this morning, and I tried the new Chobani creamer that came out for Valentine's Day, the chocolate dipped strawberry, and I am normally not a fan of chocolate in my lattes and my coffee at all. I'm not a mocha person. I love white mocha, but I'm not really a mocha person most of the time. But I tried the chocolate dipped strawberry because my boyfriend got it, because he usually loves chocolate in his coffees, and so I tried it in my coffee this morning since we had it in the house, and I love this, guys. It is so good. So if you guys have not tried it, or you have it in your fridge and you haven't tried it yet, go ahead and try it. It is so good. But we're gonna keep sipping our coffee this morning, working on our cardigan, and I'm gonna throw you into time-lapse mode as we work on the back panel and then the border of this cardigan. I'll come back to you eventually. All right, y'all, this is usually the point where I say we are done with our cardigan, but we still have the pockets to put on, so we're not entirely done. I did want to show you, we had this much left of the pink yarn. That was it, so we cut it super, super close. So safe to say we're not using that color on our pockets, which is kind of sad because I felt like that would look really, really good with the border being that pink, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be. There's tons of other colors in this gorgeous cardigan, but that is what it is currently looking like. It is so cute. Let's get those colors up close for you. So, so, so pretty. I am so excited to wear this on Valentine's Day. I think we're doing dinner. We're doing something the night before that's currently a surprise for me. I'm not sure where we're going, but I was told that I could probably wear my cardigan to wherever we're going, so I'm excited for that as well. But here is, again, that cardigan. Let's go ahead and pick out the colors that we can use for our pockets. So out of the colors that I have left and still have enough to use on that, we have, let's see, this is the crushed raspberry. I have this much left. I ended up buying 2 balls of this color. This was the only color I bought 2 balls of though. Every other one I only got 1, but this is what's left of that second ball, so we definitely have enough of that to use. And then we should have enough for pockets, I think, with this gray and this light pink as well. I'm not sure which one we're going to use just yet. I feel like using a darker color for the border than the heart isn't gonna look right. I feel like the border should be maybe the white raspberry color. Guys, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I don't know which one guys. What should we do with the crushed raspberry? I'm thinking one of these and then that crushed raspberry for sure. There is pink and there's also gray inside of this yarn. So I don't know. Guys, what do you think would look better? Let's go in the spirit of Valentine's Day. I think I'm going to put away the gray. We'll roll this up probably at the end of the video just to have it nice and clean before we are done. But let's go ahead and use these 2 colorways. I think I'm going to try first with making this the heart and making this the border. I know I just said I wasn't going to do that, but I think I'm going to try that first and see if I like it. If I don't like it, we'll switch where the 2 colors go. But let's go ahead and try that first. So this is going to be our heart. This is going to be the border. I'm going to go find this tutorial on YouTube real fast and try making it up, and I'll be back once I have one of these squares done. All right, I'm using a Door Crochet's tutorial from YouTube, but I wanted to say, come on here, I made 2 of these hearts because I was pretty sure I was going to use these as the center, and then I ended up using the light pink, put a border on this one, the light gray, and put a border on this one, and I wasn't liking either one of them, so I decided to try it without this colorway and just try the 2 solid colors, and I made a gray heart so that it would be darker in the center and it would stand out better than those 2 were. And then I took the light pink and I started the border, and I'm going to do probably 2 more rounds of a border on this before sewing it onto the pocket. But I did take these with the borders while the borders were still on them, and I laid it onto the cardigan and just wasn't liking how either of them were really looking, and so I decided to try this way. I'm going to go ahead and complete this square, and I'll be back when this square is done to let you know if I like it on the cardigan and I decide to use it, and if that's the case, then we'll go ahead and make a second one and then sew it onto the cardigan. All right, y'all, the cardigan is completely done. I am so excited. It looks absolutely adorable. I love that it's Valentine's Day without being super obnoxious because there's no like bright red in it or just super bright colors. It's the perfect cardigan for me, and I'm so excited to wear this out on Valentine's Day. Here is a good look at it. Here is a good look at those pockets. Every single end was weaved in. Speaking of, that's my like big piece of advice. If you are working on a cardigan like this that has tons of different colors, you're changing it at every row or every other row, or very often in general, is to weave in your ends every single time you create one. So every single row I tried, I wasn't perfect at it. I think nobody's perfect, you know, but as I finished a row, I would then go weave in the end, and that definitely helped with the speed of the cardigan because I would get to the end of working on a piece and be ready to start extending the sleeve or whatever it was, and I didn't have to worry about 20 ends I had to go back and weave in, or trying to maneuver the cardigan in like a weird way because I had an end stuck in a weird place. So that is my big piece of advice if you are starting your own cardigan and you picked a bunch of really fun colors for it, is to spend some time just weaving in those ends every time you create one or two or even like 6 of them, you know, that idea. But here is that finished cardigan. Again, I've never put pockets on a cardigan before, and so this year I really wanted to try extending the things that I do with the cardigans, whether that's putting a hood on a cardigan for the first time. I would love to do that at some point in 2026. Along with, I really wanted to try putting pockets on a cardigan, and I felt like the Valentine's Day cardigan was the perfect opportunity to go ahead and put on some pockets. So let me go ahead and lower you just a little bit to look at the pockets. Here they are all sewed on the 3 sides, the bottom and the 2 sides. They look so stinking cute. They're perfect little pockets for little things, for your phone, kind of up to you what you put in them, or just as decoration. I feel like I picked the perfect colors. I think I said this earlier, but I tried out some different colors with this granny square with what color the heart was going to be versus the border on the heart, and I'm glad that I went along and did 2 solid colors. I think that it turned out just perfect. It turned out absolutely adorable, so I'm glad that I made that decision. But here is the front of that cardigan fully put on. Again, my oversized cardigans tend to fit any adult size up until about a 2XL because they do have so many rows and they are wider. So like here's me, but it does go out quite a bit, and I make them usually to be oversized on me, but also so that when I go and sell a lot of them, that they are able to fit so many different people. I love that about these cardigans. But here's the front. Let me show you the back and then we'll close out the video. So here is the back for you. So stinking cute. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it so much, and I will see all of you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all of the YouTube-y things, drop some comments down below. I would love to say hi back, and I will see you all in the next one. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Valentine's Day if you're watching it on this day. If not, if you're watching it later, I hope that you had a good Valentine's Day and that this video was a good extra little burst towards your holiday. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.